All right, let's fire up those ovens and get ready to dive deep into the world of the one and only Ina Garten.
The barefoot Contessa herself.
You know her from her cookbooks, her show, all those incredible recipes. But behind those perfectly plated dishes
Behind that warm, inviting persona,
lies a story
a fascinating story.
of ambition, resilience, and I think we can all agree.
A whole lot of butter.
We're going to uncover it all today, using excerpts from Ina's memoir, Be Ready When the Luck Happens.
It's like we have a backstage pass to her life.
From Brooklyn to the Hamptons.
All the delicious stops along the way.
Now, this isn't your typical rags to riches story.
Not even close.
Ina's path to success is anything but linear.
More like a winding country road.
We're talking about a woman who went from analyzing nuclear policy in the White House
You owning a specialty food store.
with zero experience, might I add.
Talk about a career 180.
I mean, how do you even make that leap?
It's almost like she had two completely different lives.
Right.
But the thread that connects them, the common ingredient, if you will,
Okay, I like where you're going with this.
is Ina's unwavering determination.
And her ability to reinvent herself time and time again.
Exactly.
And we even see that determination in her early years.
From the very beginning
Ina grows up in a household where academic achievement,
was everything.
her parents, while well-meaning,
Definitely well-meaning.
weren't exactly the most emotionally expressive.
Not the warm and fuzzy type.
They push her to excel,
To be the best.
but rarely acknowledge her efforts,
It's almost as if they expected perfection.
never pausing to celebrate those wins along the way,
Right.
which left Ina craving that emotional support.
That recognition.
Can you imagine growing up with that constant pressure
What did you accomplish today?
every single day?
No pressure or anything.
But it's fascinating because despite that pressure, Ina develops this rebellious streak
a hint of mischief.
that would later shape her approach to life.
And a business.
And this brings us to the don't waste the stationery incident,
Oh, this is a good one.
which perfectly captures young Ina's spirit.
It really does.
So set the scene for us.
Okay, picture this. Teenage Ina, completely smitten with this Dartmouth student named Jeffrey.
Wait, is this the same Jeffrey?
The one and only.
The one we see on her show?
That's him. But back to the story.
Okay, sorry.
So, teenage Ina, head over heels for Jeffrey, finds herself underage,
Oh, no.
trying to sneak into a bar for their first date.
Oh, Ina.
I know, right?
Classic.
And her parents, not thrilled about this budding romance, try to limit her visits to Dartmouth.
Thinking distance would make the heart grow fonder.
Or maybe just, make the heart forget.
But that backfired spectacularly, didn't it?
Oh, big time. Obstacles, especially those meant to control her.
Only fueled Ina's determination.
Exactly.
So what does she do?
She uses the very stationery her parents gave her
The kind meant for thank you notes and polite correspondence.
to write these passionate letters to Jeffrey,
She was going after what she wanted.
bending the rules a bit along the way.
Now, that's what I call making the most of your resources.
And that resourcefulness, that ability to improvise and adapt, becomes a hallmark of Ina's career.
It's like a key ingredient in her recipe for success.
I love that.
So after Dartmouth, what happens? Does she jump right into the culinary world?
Not quite. She dabbles in a few different fields,
Like what?
from architecture
Okay.
to modeling.
Wait a minute. Ina as a model?
Now I need to see pictures.
Okay.
Well, it wasn't exactly high fashion.
Of course not.
She worked for an agency called Body Shop,
Okay.
which catered to, shall we say, a more mature clientele.
I get it.
Ina even recounts this hilarious encounter with a woman who, upon seeing Ina's youthful face, exclaims,
Oh, I gotta hear this.
"Honey, I wasn't born yesterday."
Oh my goodness, that's amazing.
Right.
But even with these seemingly random jobs, it feels like Ina is searching.
For something more.
Something that truly ignites her passion.
That spark.
And that's where the transformative trip to Europe comes in.
Ah, yes, the trip that changed everything.
Set the scene for us.
Okay, imagine Ina and Jeffrey
Young and adventurous,
backpacking through Europe.
on a shoestring budget.
$5 a day, to be exact.
Talk about roughing it.
They're camping, sleeping in their car,
Wow.
even enduring a collapsed tent in Scotland.
That's dedication.
But amidst all that chaos, something magical happens.
They land in France.
And it's like a culinary awakening for Ina,
The open-air markets.
overflowing with fresh produce.
The simple yet delicious cuisine.
The entire culture surrounding food.
It's a complete revelation,
And she even takes her first formal cooking class in Normandy.
solidifying her love for French cuisine.
It was a turning point.
Like that trip unlocked something within her.
A realization that good food didn't have to be fussy or complicated.
It could be fresh
Simple.
and bursting with flavor.
Exactly. And that experience planted the seed for what we now know as
The barefoot Contessa philosophy.
the one we know and love today.
But here's where things get really interesting. Shortly after returning from Europe, Ina stumbles upon an ad in the New York Times
For a specialty food store,
for sale in West Hampton Beach, Long Island.
destiny was calling,
Now remember, she has no prior experience running a business.
let alone a food business.
So what on earth possessed her to take this leap of faith
It seems like a combination of intuition,
and impulsiveness?
two qualities that often drive Ina's decisions,
Something about that ad just clicked.
like a voice whispering.
This is it. This is your moment.
And Jeffrey, ever the supportive partner, was right there with her.
Ready to embark on this crazy adventure.
Absolutely.
So they pack their bags, leave Washington, D.C. behind,
And head to the Hamptons.
and then, on opening weekend, Jeffrey does something that perfectly captures their dynamic.
Oh, you mean the time he bought out an entire bakery
Yep, that's the one.
to stock the store?
It's a classic Jeffrey move.
Supportive
A little impulsive.
and absolutely hilarious.
It speaks volumes about their relationship.
It really does.
Jeffrey, despite his practical nature, fully embraces Ina's sometimes impulsive decisions.
And encourages her to follow her heart.
He believes in her vision, even when it means driving back and forth with a car overflowing with pastries.
That's love.
Okay, so they've got the store, they've got the pastries,
Now comes the real challenge.
running the business.
And let's be honest, the Hamptons crowd.
It's not exactly known for being easy to please.
You're telling me these are people with discerning palates and high expectations.
But Inanna quickly realizes that what they crave,
Isn't fancy, complicated dishes.
they want good, honest, home-cooked food.
Elevated with the best ingredients.
And a touch of elegance.
Exactly.
So instead of trying to impress with her newfound French culinary knowledge,
And she adapts
she focuses on simple, flavorful dishes.
that resonate with their lifestyle.
It's a testament to her business savvy.
And her innate ability to connect with people through food.
She understood it wasn't just about the recipes,
It was about creating an experience.
a feeling of warmth and connection.
Exactly.
But while Barefoot Contessa is thriving, Ina and Jeffrey's marriage,
Starts to face some turbulence.
Ina's newfound independence and ambition clash with Jeffrey's more traditional views on marriage.
Leading to a painful decision.
They decide to separate.
A turning point that forces them both to confront their expectations and desires.
It's a reminder that even the most seemingly perfect couples,
Face their own unique challenges.
and sometimes you have to step back
Reevaluate.
and make some tough choices in order to move forward.
Absolutely.
And for Ina, that involved some serious soul-searching.
She finds herself back in Washington trying to make sense of it all.
And that's when she stumbles upon a book that would have a profound impact on her,
Gail Sheehy's Passages.
which explores the different stages of adult development.
And the challenges we face as we evolve.
And as Ina reads about these different passages,
She starts to see her own experiences through a new lens.
her desire for greater independence and fulfillment,
It wasn't a flaw in her character.
or in her marriage.
It was a natural part of her personal growth.
So, armed with these insights, Ina and Jeffrey decide to give their relationship another shot.
Embarking on the often challenging journey of couples therapy.
And it's a testament to their love and commitment that they were willing to do the hard work,
To communicate openly and honestly.
to find a way to meet each other's needs.
Their reconciliation is a beautiful example of how love can evolve and deepen over time.
Even in the face of adversity.
Exactly.
And it's a good thing they worked things out.
Because the next chapter of their story,
Involves expanding Barefoot Contessa to East Hampton
winning over skeptical customers.
and navigating the unique demands of the Hamptons social scene.
Oh, and did I mention the story about Lauren Bacall asking Ina for mustard?
Wait, what?
You'll have to wait for part 2 to hear that one.
You're killing me.
But trust me, it's a classic.
All right, sounds like we're about to step into a whirlwind of gourmet food, celebrity encounters.
And maybe even a few more business ventures.
You ready for part 2?
I'm ready when you are.
Okay, we left off with Ina conquering the Hamptons food scene,
But hold on tight.
because we're about to dive into the main course.
The birth of the Barefoot Contessa cookbook empire.
It's amazing how she went from this hands-on culinary queen in the Hamptons.
To a published author.
It wasn't something she initially envisioned for herself.
No.
But after years of perfecting those recipes and that signature entertaining style,
She felt she had something special to share with the world.
and let's be real, her cookbooks aren't just about the recipes, are they?
It's the whole package.
The stunning photography.
The elegant styling.
You feel like you're stepping right into Ina's world.
Exactly.
Ina had a crystal clear vision for her first cookbook, the Barefoot Contessa cookbook,
It had to be visually captivating.
reflecting her aesthetic and that quintessential Hamptons lifestyle she embodied,
She handpicked the photographer and the stylist.
creating a dream team to bring her vision to life.
But even dream teams have their hiccups, right?
There was a near disaster with the book's design, wasn't there?
Oh, yes. A major design critique.
Courtesy of
Richard Avedon.
the Richard
The
Avedon.
one and only.
What happened?
He was a friend of Ina's,
Okay.
and during a visit, he dropped a bombshell,
Okay.
declaring the book's design
Don't tell me.
the worst he'd ever seen.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine? So what did Ina do? Did she scrap the entire design?
Here's where Ina's resilience really shines through.
She took his criticism seriously.
She did, but ultimately trusted her gut,
She knew her vision was strong.
and she stuck to her guns.
It's a valuable lesson in balancing feedback with staying true to your instincts.
Absolutely.
And that instinct proved to be spot on.
Oh, yes.
The Barefoot Contessa cookbook.
Became a runaway success
Selling over 1 million copies.
and catapulting Ina into culinary superstardom.
It's a testament to her unique voice and her ability to connect with readers on a personal level.
The book wasn't just a collection of recipes,
It was an invitation into Ina's world.
a world of delicious food, warm hospitality, and effortless elegance.
So we've got a best-selling cookbook.
A thriving store in the Hamptons.
You'd think Ina would be content, right?
You'd think so.
But then comes the next big challenge.
Television.
Now, this wasn't Ina's first foray into the world of television.
No.
Remember that grueling 8-week shoot she did for Martha Stewart's show?
Oh, yes.
It left her swearing off television for good.
But then fate intervened.
In the form of
Eileen Oppetit.
a visionary executive at the fledgling Food Network.
She saw something special in Ina
A warmth and authenticity.
that would translate beautifully to the screen.
She believed Ina had the potential to become a star.
But it took some serious convincing to get Ina back in front of the camera,
It was a whole new world.
with its own set of demands and pressures.
So how did Eileen do it?
She promised Ina complete creative control
Okay.
and a limited run of just 13 episodes.
To ease her back into it.
And thank goodness she did.
Barefoot Contessa premiered in 2002.
It quickly became a Food Network sensation.
What was it about the show that resonated so deeply with viewers?
It was a breath of fresh air.
Compared to?
The more formal instructional cooking shows at the time,
Right.
Ina's approach was relaxed.
Conversational.
Almost like she was inviting you into her kitchen for a chat and a delicious meal.
And let's not forget Jeffrey,
He became an integral part of the show,
popping in with his dry wit.
and that twinkle in his eye.
Their on-screen chemistry was undeniable.
A testament to their deep love and genuine affection for each other.
They were the ultimate couple goals,
Creating this aspirational yet relatable world.
filled with good food, good company, and a whole lot of love.
But even with all this success, the cookbooks, the TV show, the Hamptons lifestyle,
Ina made a decision that surprised many.
she sold the original Barefoot Contessa store.
It was a bittersweet moment.
But Ina realized she couldn't do it all.
She needed to focus on the things that brought her the most joy.
And creative fulfillment.
And that meant letting go of the store
And trusting it to capable hands.
while she embarked on new culinary adventures,
And one of those adventures was inspired by Jeffrey.
involving a little Parisian pied-à-terre,
Remember that transformative trip to Europe?
the one that ignited Ina's passion for French cuisine,
It seems that trip had a lasting impact.
planting the seed for a future dream.
Owning an apartment in Paris.
Years later, Ina and Jeffrey found themselves in a position to make that dream a reality.
It was Jeffrey, always the practical one, who simply said, "Why don't you do what you've always wanted to do?"
And off Ina went to find her Parisian haven.
But finding an apartment in Paris?
Is no easy feat.
It was a whirlwind of apartment viewings.
A near-death experience on a tiny plane.
And finally a flood of tears when she found the one. The apartment had good bones.
Beautiful light.
A charming location.
But it needed a complete overhaul.
And Ina's no stranger to renovations.
She'd spent years transforming houses in Washington.
She was up for the challenge.
But renovating in a foreign country comes with its own set of quirks and cultural differences.
Ina even has this hilarious anecdote
I'm listening.
about trying to open a bank account in what turned out to be the Banque de France,
Hold on.
the Central Bank of France.
She accidentally wandered into the French equivalent of the Federal Reserve.
Precisely.
Oh, Ina!
She thought she was just being a responsible adult, setting up finances for her renovation.
But instead...
She inadvertently stumbled into the heart of French monetary policy.
It's a reminder that even the most seasoned travelers,
Can find themselves in comical situations.
so despite the language barriers,
And the occasional bureaucratic mishap
Ina managed to transform that Parisian apartment.
into a reflection of her impeccable style,
It became their sanctuary
a place where they could escape the pressures of their busy lives.
and simply enjoy each other's company.
They filled it with treasures from flea markets, antique shops,
Even the legendary hotel costs.
creating a haven that was both elegant and deeply personal.
But back in the Hamptons, a new challenge was brewing.
Ina needed a dedicated space to film her show and test recipes.
Without turning her home into a chaotic TV set,
For years, her house had been transformed into a makeshift studio.
leaving her and Jeffrey feeling like displaced guests in their own home.
Ah, yes, the infamous barn.
The one that's become synonymous with Ina's show.
But getting that barn built was no walk in the park.
What happened?
It involved years of negotiating with the owner of the adjacent property,
Who was?
a reverend whose family had owned the land since the 1600s.
Can you imagine trying to convince someone to part with a piece of their family history?
It was a delicate situation.
But Ina, being the master negotiator that she is,
Found a way,
she presented the Reverend with multiple options.
ensuring he felt respected and in control.
And in the end, they struck a deal that benefited both parties.
The barn was built,
And it became Ina's culinary sanctuary.
a place where she could unleash her creativity and share her passion with the world.
So we've got the cookbooks, the TV show, the Parisian apartment, the iconic barn,
Ina's built this incredible empire.
all while navigating the complexities of marriage, business, and personal growth.
It's truly inspiring.
It's a testament to her unwavering work ethic, her ability to adapt and evolve.
And her belief in herself.
But trust me, there's so much more to uncover.
Are you ready for the final course?
We're back and ready to savor the final course in our Garten deep dive.
We've seen her rise to culinary stardom
Conquer the Hamptons!
and even charm her way through Parisian renovations.
But like any good recipe.
Life has a few unexpected ingredients.
And for Ina, those ingredients included
Some tough business
a
lessons.
global pandemic.
And a whole lot of resilience.
Now, I know Ina is incredibly meticulous about quality control,
Especially when it comes to anything bearing her name.
but wasn't there a bit of a fiasco with her Barefoot Contessa premium foods line?
Ah, yes, the premium food debacle.
It's a reminder that even the most successful entrepreneurs can face challenges.
When it comes to maintaining control over their brand.
So what happened exactly? Did those delicious dips and sauces suddenly go bad?
Not exact.
What was it then?
It was more of a corporate clash.
Oh, I see.
When the parent company of Ina's food line was sold,
Okay.
the new owners decided to prioritize profits.
Over quality.
They started cutting corners using cheaper ingredients.
Compromising the very standards that Ina had built her reputation on.
Exactly.
And Ina, being Ina, was having none of it.
Absolutely not.
She knew that her name represented a promise,
Of quality,
and she wasn't about to let that promise be broken,
she took a stand.
even though it meant
Going head-to-head with a corporate giant
in a legal battle.
is a risky move.
But it showed her unwavering commitment to her values.
And to her loyal customers.
It's a reminder that sometimes you have to fight for what you believe in.
Even when the odds are stacked against you.
So how did it all end?
Well,
Did David slay Goliath?
he sure did.
Ina emerged victorious?
Forcing the company to stop producing those subpar products.
It was a hard-won victory.
A testament to her tenacity.
And her refusal to compromise on quality.
Okay, so we've got a culinary empire.
A legal victory under her belt.
You'd think Ina would be ready to kick back and enjoy the fruits of her labor.
Right.
But then comes a challenge that no one could have predicted.
A global pandemic.
The COVID-19 pandemic threw everyone's lives into disarray.
And Ina's carefully curated world of filming, book releases, and social gatherings.
Came to a screeching halt.
It was a time of uncertainty and anxiety for everyone.
I can only imagine how challenging it must have been for someone like Ina.
Who thrives on connection.
And creating those shared experiences through food.
But instead of retreating,
Ina did what she does best.
she adapted.
She turned to her community
Her loyal fans.
for support and connection.
She started posting regularly on Instagram.
Sharing recipes, tips, and words of encouragement.
It was like a virtual hug from the Barefoot Contessa herself.
Reminding everyone that even in the midst of a crisis,
There's still comfort and joy to be found in the simple things.
like cooking a delicious meal,
Those posts became a lifeline for many people.
a source of inspiration.
And a reminder that we're all in this together.
And who could forget those iconic cocktail napkins?
How easy is that?
They became a symbol of resilience.
A reminder that even when things feel tough,
We can still find moments of levity and connection.
it's incredible how Ina in her 70s embraced social media with such enthusiasm,
She connected with a whole new generation of fans.
proving that the barefoot Contessa spirit is truly timeless.
You know, throughout this deep dive,
What?
I've been struck by Ina's ability to navigate challenges with grace and determination.
She never seems to let setbacks define her.
She simply picks herself up, dusts herself off, and finds a new path forward.
And that brings us to a pivotal moment in Ina's story.
The one that perfectly encapsulates her approach to success.
She's being interviewed by Leslie Stahl for 60 minutes.
And they're discussing her remarkable career trajectory.
Leslie comments on how lucky Ina's been.
And Ina humbly agrees.
But wait, wasn't there a certain Oprah smackdown involved?
Oh yes, Oprah Winfrey, being the wise and insightful queen that she is,
Literally.
smacks Ina on the arm saying,
What does she say?
"You weren't lucky.
Okay.
You make your own luck."
That's a moment I wish I could have witnessed.
Here's a lighthearted exchange.
But it carried a profound message.
Success isn't just about chance.
It's about hard work
Preparation.
and being ready to seize opportunities when they arise.
And that's something we've seen throughout Ina's entire journey.
She never had a grand plan.
A meticulously crafted 5-year strategy.
She simply followed her passions
Worked tirelessly.
and remained open to unexpected possibilities.
And that's the ultimate takeaway from Ina Garten's story.
What is it?
Be prepared, be open, and be ready when luck happens.
So what does this all mean for you, dear listener?
What doors are you leaving open in your own life?
What opportunities are you ready to embrace?
Ina's story is a reminder that it's never too late to pursue your passions
To take risks?
and to create a life that brings you joy and fulfillment.
We hope you've enjoyed this deep dive into the world of Ina Garten,
It's been a culinary adventure,
filled with delicious insights
heartwarming anecdotes.
and hopefully a little inspiration to get you cooking.
We encourage you to pick up Ina's memoir
Explore her cookbooks.
and maybe even try a recipe or two.
And who knows?
You might just discover your own inner barefoot Contessa.
Waiting to be